Hey everyone. So the conventional wisdom is that now that Bibi Netanyahu has renounced the notion of a Palestinian state and has warned Israeli voters that Arabs would be voting in droves in the Israeli election, that the prospects for peace in the Middle East are at a new low. Well, I have a more optimistic perspective today. Just as a dysfunctional couple can limp along unhappily and unproductively for years until one of them commits an act so unacceptable that it causes a final breach in the relationship, so I think Netanyahu has created such a turning point with Barack Obama. Netanyahu's cynical behavior on the eve of the Israeli election has crystallized something that the Obama administration has felt for some time. That Netanyahu has been a grudging, cynical, and unreliable partner in the peace process, and has been all too content with the ongoing stagnation, in part because it's allowed him to continue to build settlements on Palestinian territory. I believe that Bibi's behavior has liberated Obama from continuing to participate in any further charade with Netanyahu, and has allowed him the space to now look for new paradigms, new strategies to move the peace process forward. Now, divorcing Netanyahu does not in any way mean that Obama is divorcing from Israel itself or Israel's security concerns. After all, it was Obama who was the prime mover in getting funding for the all-important Iron Dome security system in Israel. It's Obama who will be sending Israel the most sophisticated fighter jets in the region that will help Israel's military power. And we will continue, as always, to share intelligence and information with Israel, which is a centerpiece of the Israel-American relationship. Unlike others, Obama has never succumbed to the idea that the Middle East negotiations were somehow a zero-sum game, that to support the security concerns of the Israelis was to be biased against Arabs, or to support the idea of a Palestinian state was somehow to be anti-Israel. Obama has always firmly recognized that a peaceful settlement in the Middle East redounds to the benefit of both parties. Now, obviously, a divorce from Bibi will bring out the detractors, particularly in the Republican Party here in the United States. I watched on Sunday as John McCain scolded Obama for having a quote-unquote temper tantrum with respect to Bibi. I had to chuckle because probably no senator in the history of Congress has had more temper tantrums than John McCain. No, John, Obama was not having a temper tantrum. He simply has a more clear-eyed, unflinching view of who Bibi Netanyahu is, and that's all to the good. Furthermore, it's perfectly predictable and fitting that John McCain would become one of the biggest apologists for Bibi Netanyahu's cynical behavior. Here we had Netanyahu on the eve of the Israeli election, the polls all arrayed against him, panicking at the thought of being booted from office. So he panicked and made a cynical and desperate attempt to get out the vote of the right wing in Israel. Well, John McCain has been there. In 2008, there was John McCain, terrified at the thought of losing the election. So what did he do? Cynically, he chose a completely unqualified vice presidential running mate in the hope that she would add some pizzazz to his campaign. Now, we've largely given a pass to John McCain on his bad decision-making. Why? Because he lost the election, which essentially mooted the issue of his bad judgment. We never had to face the prospect of Sarah Palin being a heartbeat away from the presidency. But it does lead to the following thought. Modern campaigns are probably too long. They're enormously grinding and demanding of each candidate. They are exhausting for both candidate and electorate alike. But the one thing that modern campaigns do is they reveal character. What we saw from Netanyahu on the eve of the Israeli election, we can't unsee. The toothpaste can't go back into the tube, as the Obama administration continues to remind us. Barack Obama is now single again. He's now divorced. And like so many divorced people, he no longer has any illusions about the character of the person he was formerly married to. He's free to look at new strategies, new paradigms for advancing the Middle East peace process. What form will that take? I don't know. Perhaps it might be using the UN more as an intermediary. It may be forming a partnership with our Western European allies, many of whom have grown very impatient with Netanyahu. I don't know. But what I do know is that Obama now has a fresh start. And I think that may be a very good thing. I'm Jeff Rowan. Thanks for watching.